Hello, my bookish friends. It's Dano from Books by Dano, and today I am doing my September new releases video. So hopefully in this video there are some books that you haven't heard of. There's definitely some books that I haven't heard of that have sparked my interest, as well as there's sequels to series that, let's be honest, I'm not caught up with or even started, but they still intrigue me, and so I'm counting them in this video all the same. Plus, there might be some that aren't quite in my wheelhouse, but they might be in yours. So hopefully you find something in this video, and let's get into it. So starting off with September 2nd, which is my birthday, so extra special place in my heart for these books. But first is one that I haven't heard of, and that is House of Hearts by Skyla Arndt. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm so sorry. This is about Violet Harper, who knows her best friend was murdered. And even though everyone else has labelled it as a freak accident, Violet is determined to find out who murdered her best friend. So she infiltrates a secret society, and then a person comes along the way who she's got to resist a forbidden love. And apparently there's a running from a vengeful ghost in there as well. So this all sounds really cool. It's got a couple of tropes that I really enjoy, and yeah, I'm interested to see more about this book. Up next is the next novella installment in the Powerless trilogy. So this is book 3.5. I believe this is going to be the last one in it because the trilogy has already been released. So I don't know if there's any other novellas coming. But this is Fearful by Lauren Roberts. I have read Powerless now, and I did really enjoy it. So I am looking forward to continuing on with the story, seeing where it goes and how these novellas play into it as well. And then lastly, for the 2nd of September, we've got A Land So Wide by Erin A. Craig. I don't know anything really about this book, and I kind of don't want to go into it knowing too much, but it's got an irresistible blend of dark fairy tale and romantic fantasy set in a beautiful but brutal Canadian wilderness. And I'm kind of sold. I love dark fairy tales. I love romantic fantasy. So why not? And I've heard a lot of good things about Erin A. Craig's writing and books, so I'm looking forward to it. Moving on to the 9th of September, we have Wildcard by Elsie Silver. This is the 4th book in the Rose Hill interconnected standalone series, I believe. And I have heard a lot of good things about this entire series, and I do really want to read them all. But this is just pushing me and giving me a little bit of a nudge to remind me to actually get into them. But for this one, Sebastian is a grumpy, hot-as-hell fire pilot who is too damn good with his hands. It's the perfect combination, but unfortunately for her, he's also her ex-boyfriend's dad. A chance meeting brought them together, and a misconnection has kept them apart, but a year later, a stroke of fate has them living under the same roof. So, yeah, there's lots to unpack in that. So your boyfriend's father, and then a second chance sort of meeting situation, forced proximity. I don't know what trope it's going to go down, but I'm interested. Up next is Eldritch, which is the 2nd book in the Eating Woods series by Keri Lake. Anathema is on my to-read list again for next month because I keep just putting it on my TBR. Eventually I'll get it read. This hopefully will push me to read it because the second one is coming out, and then I could just read the second one after I've read the first one. So I don't really know too much about this one. Being the second one, I don't really want to look up too much about it, but I've heard a lot of good things about Anathema and Keri Lake's writing, so I am looking forward to this book. Up next is The Honeycrisp Orchid Inn, and this is by Valerie Bowman, and it's the first in a series. I don't know if it's an interconnected standalone like what a lot of contemporary romance is doing lately, and it is talked to be for fans of Love Light and the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, so it is giving me that vibe of it's going to be an interconnected standalone. And it is about Ellie Lawson's city life was treating her just fine until a sour turn of events knocked her in one fell swoop. Dumped by her boyfriend and fired from her event planning job, she is left with no choice but to return to her parents' idyllic inn, nestled within the picturesque Honeycrisp orchard on Long Island. And then she sort of meets Aiden, the stubborn, attractive son of the orchard owner, who is currently occupying her planned refuge, the place that she's meant to be staying in. And sorry about the cars. So forced together by circumstances, they find themselves not only roommates but also co-workers when they're put in charge of their parents of the orchid's vital harvest festival. So sounds right up my alley. Sounds like a nice palate cleansing read, which I love. And yeah, it sounds really good. It's 2 books that I really enjoy that it's been characterized as, so hopefully. Last up for the 9th is Picture Perfect by Tessa Bailey. This, I believe, is also an interconnected standalone series, and this one is following Boston's Bearcats rookie Robbie Corrigan is living the dream. He's made it to the NHL. His best friend / teammate and fellow orgasm donor, sorry, is his roomie, and the women of Boston love them both. Orgasm donor. Oh, jeez. Okay. Anyway. Life sweet. That is until he meets Skyla Page, Division 1 softball pitcher. Girl least likely to take anyone's bull, and the one member of the opposite sex immune to his charms. Love this. It seems right up my alley. I haven't read any of the others in this series, so I probably would read them first, but if it's anything like the other ones, you probably don't need to. You just get sort of teasers of things if you do read them in order. But looking forward to this one. Up next is The Everqueen by LJ Andrews. This is just getting its traditional publishing release. So the first book in the series came out last month, The Everking, and The Everqueen is coming out this month. So I'm looking forward to picking them all up and then binging them all because the series sounds fantastic and I cannot wait. I forgot to mention that The Everqueen comes out on the 16th of September. Next up for the 16th is Hekate by Nikita Gill. So this book is about Hekate, who is born into a world of fire and at war. She and her mother are left behind by the menfolk of their Titan family as they battle against the new gods, the Olympians. Soon, Hekate and her mother are forced to flee their home as the Olympians overpower and enslave the Titans, including Hecate's father, Perseus, and gain dominion over the universe. In a bid to protect Hekate from the clutches of Zeus and Poseidon, her mother leaves her in the underworld with the goddess Styx and the king of the underworld, Hades, where she must make a life for herself and discover her divine purpose. This is going to be a trilogy all around the story of the gods and goddesses. So I love those sorts of books. I cannot wait to read this. It sounds so exciting. And I used to really love Hekate as a goddess. So yeah, I'm very interested in this. Up next, also on the 16th, is The Summer War by Naomi Novik. This is only a novella, so it's nice and short, and it's about a young witch who has inadvertently cursed her brother to live a life without love and must find a way to undo the spell. Celia discovers her talent for magic on the day her beloved oldest brother left home. Furious at him for abandoning her in a war-torn land, she had lashed out, not realizing her childish, angry words would suddenly become imbued with the power of prophecy, dooming him to a life without love. So it just sounds like a really nice book. I have read the first book in the Scholomance trilogy. I'm trying to think what it's called. A Deadly Education, right? I think that's what it is. And I really enjoyed the writing in it. I wasn't so big on the actual plot itself, but I'm interested to try more from Naomi Novik and see what this novella is like. It's only 144 pages, so it won't take long to read at all. Up next is The Gingerbread Bakery by Laurie Gilmore. This is the 5th book in the Dream Harbour series. I have enjoyed the first 2 books that I've read in this series so far, and I'm sure that this one is going to keep my love going. These are kind of standalone interconnected, but I would recommend reading them in order because they do follow a timeline. And no, I'm just going to change my mind. It's not in standalones. It's a series. Read it as a series. There's too much that happens in between that you continue on from different characters and where they've progressed to. So, yeah, just read it as a series. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. I do need to catch up because I still need to read book 3 and 4. And yes, I need to get on this. And lastly, for the 16th of September is Among the Burning Flowers by Samantha Shannon. This is a 0.5 novella for the Roots of Chaos series. And I have been meaning to read Samantha Shannon's books for such a long time. The Bowman season is on my TBR for this month, so I am still trying to get that done. Fingers crossed I can make that happen. But I look forward to loving that book series, hopefully, and then moving on to these ones and loving them as well. Moving on to the 23rd of September, we have The Heartbreak Hotel by Ellen O. Clover. This is a bed and breakfast for the brokenhearted, and it might hold the key to another chance at love. This is a debut romance for Ellen, so I look forward to reading it. It sounds just nice, cozy. The main character, Louisa, has some things happen that she then has to ask her landlord if she can live in her place for free, but in exchange for that, she's going to organise renting out all the other rooms as a bed and breakfast and run it as a bed and breakfast. And then obviously, it's a romance. Things happen. We fall in love with the main guy. So, I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's a nice, easy, chill, contemporary romance book that is a nice palate cleanser. Up next, we have Spellcaster by Jaymin Eve, and this is a enemies to lovers romantasy with steamy heat, magical creatures, fast pace, and stakes that will keep you hooked, apparently. And we get to dive into a world where love is as dangerous as power. It is set in a college, which I also love, so it's ticking all the right boxes for me, and there's magic. I hope that this is as good as what this says, but it's perfect if you love Who Hurt You, Slow Burn Enemies to Lovers, Elemental Magic, Dark Academia, Fuck It moments, and Consent is Sexy. Okay. Anyway, I definitely am interested in this, and it's only 304 pages, so it's not overly long too, which is nice, especially for a first book in a series. I kind of like them being on the smaller side just to get a taste for what's going on. Up next, we have A Steeping of Blood by Hafsah Faizal. I'm so sorry, I've definitely butchered that. This is the second book in the Blood and Tea series. I have heard so much about this author and how good the books are that I'm looking forward to this, but I will go back and read the first one first. I can't even remember what the first one's called. A Tempest of Tea, that's it. So I plan on reading that and then be able to binge straight into this one. Up next is Alchemised by SenLin Yu, and I hope that's correct. This, I believe, is the traditionally published version, and oh my god, I just looked at the page number. 1,040 pages. Oh, that's a chunky book. That's a chunky book. And it's a debut too. Jesus. Okay, well, I guess you won't find me for a week when I'm reading this. It's about a woman with missing memories, fights to survive a war-torn world of necromancy and alchemy, and the man tasked with unearthing the deepest secrets of her past. Interesting. So Helena is now a prisoner of war and of her own mind. Her resistance, friends, and allies have been brutally murdered, her abilities suppressed, and the world she knew destroyed. I've seen so much about this book around, and I cannot wait to find out what it's all about, but that page count scares me. I will definitely be reading that on Kindle. There's no way I'm holding a book that is that big, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. Up next is Thief of Night. This is the second book in the Book of Night series by Holly Black, and the series is her adult debut. I have read Holly Black's middle grade and young adult books and really enjoyed them, so I do want to jump on the bandwagon of reading her adult books and seeing what they're all about, and hopefully I enjoy the first one enough that I continue on with the second. Up next, we have What Fury Brings by Tricia Levenseller. This is a book about where there's a shortage of men in the kingdom of Amara. After a failed rebellion against the matriarchy, most noblemen in the country are dead. Now the women of Amara must obtain their husbands, should they want one, by kidnapping them from other kingdoms. Jesus. And by the looks of it, it's a dual point of view, which I do really love. And this is for readers who crave dark romantasy centered on feminine rage and the dangerous dance between power and desire. So, looking forward to this and reading more about it. And it's a standalone, so that would be interesting as well, being a fantasy standalone. Up next, also on the 23rd, is Tourist Season by Brian Weaver. I have read Butcher and Blackbird and really enjoyed that, and I have now started Lark and Leather and Lark, and I am so keen to see what this book is all about. So, welcome to Cape Carnage. Visit once, stay forever. You can hide in the farthest reaches of the deepest hell, and I will still drag you out. Even the devil can't save you from me. I am so intrigued. I don't want to know more, but I have enjoyed Bryony Weaver's other books, and I'm sure this one's just going to be as good. So I'm looking forward to it. And then lastly, for the 23rd, we have The Primal of Blood and Bone. This is the 6th book in the Blood and Ash series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I have yet to start the series, but I don't even know if this is the last one in the series. It's a massive series. It doesn't say if this is the last one or not. So I don't know. But I have enjoyed Jennifer L. Armentrout's books in the past, although they have definitely been on the shorter side than 640 pages. So I'm interested to see how I go with this series. I do believe that there are sort of some mixed thoughts about the series and mixed reviews on it, so I want to see where I stand. Moving on to the 30th, we have The Sleepless by Jen Williams, and this is for people that love God Killer meets Powerless in an epic gods and monsters romantic fantasy. So yes, please sign me up. It's for readers who crave romantic fantasy centered on the dance between desire and deadly touch wrapped in gods and monsters mystery. And I cannot wait to read about where gods and monsters roam the earth, because it sounds great in my respects. Again, it's another standalone fantasy by the looks of it, and it's only 336 pages. So I'd be interested to see how much of a story and how much of a world we get in it being so short. That would be my only concern going into it, but I'm still looking forward to it because it sounds really good. Up next is What Stalks the Deep. This is the third novella in the Sworn Soldier series by T. Kingfisher. I am in sort of a place where I'm giving all of T. Kingfisher's books a go this year. I have read Nettle and Bone, And I have mentioned before that I loved the writing. I just wasn't interested in the story. Hemlock and Silver comes out this month, and I am looking forward to reading that because that's a Snow White retelling. And from what I've been told by other people, T. Kingfisher, as much as they always think that her writing is amazing, sometimes the stories aren't for everyone, and you just got to find which series works best for you. So I'm looking forward to reading this series of novellas. Again, it's pretty short. It's only 192 pages, so you'd be able to fly through them. And I'm just looking forward to having another good time reading some lovely writing. Even if the story isn't necessarily for me, it's not that long, and my enjoyment of the writing did overweigh my non-enjoyment of the story, if that makes sense. I don't know. But I love T. Kingfisher's writing from what I've read, and I look forward to reading more. Up next is another novella, and that is Holly, which is the 3.5 novella from the Belladonna series by Adeline Grace. I have not started this series yet, but I am definitely looking forward to it. It's a young adult fantasy series, and it just looks really nice. I like the covers, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Up next is another young adult fantasy, and that is Every Spiral of Fate. This is the fourth book in this Woven Kingdom series by Tahira Muffi. I have read Tahira Muffi's books before. I haven't started this series, but I am definitely eager to start, and I hope that I absolutely love it. I have heard really good things about the series, so I'm sure I will. Up next is Soul Searching by Lila Sage. This is the first book in a Sweetwater Peak series, and it is for readers who crave haunted small-town romance built on the ache of coming home and confronting the ghosts you fled. Ideal if you Ideal if you savor slow burn, dual point of view chemistry, cozy yet eerie vibes, and emotional depth with intricate magic systems. I'm looking forward to this. I have heard so much about Layla Sage's writing, and I can't wait to see how she ties in the fantastical elements with the contemporary romance. It seems like all my favorite genres all just mashed together. Up next is House of Rain by Harley Lacroix. And this is about Salem, who was meant to be marrying their fiancé on a country estate, but has found themselves on a ferry headed to historic Balfour Manor on Black Ridge Island in the Pacific Northwest. And the house is as mysterious and beautiful as its owner, Rain. And like her, this place holds dark secrets. Rain thinks that nothing good can stay, and that's what they told Salem Lockhart when they showed up at their door. She's adventurous, beautiful, and doomed to die if she remains on Blackridge. So I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes, what happens, what the thriller component is, and just more about it. So looking forward to that. Up next is Grim and Oro by Alex Astor. This is from the Lightlark series, and this book intrigues me so much because it is two novellas, and I believe one is on one side and the other is on the other side, and then you flip it. So I don't know, but I'm looking forward to it, and I love both of these characters in the Lightlark series, so I'm looking forward to reading more about them. And then the last book coming out on the 30th is Holiday Ever After by Hannah Grace. This is about Clara Davenport, who wants to solve Fraser Falls' biggest problem. And according to Jack Kelly, Clara is Fraser Falls' biggest problem. So I am just feeling like this is going to be a good contemporary fun time. It is a holiday romance, so I'm also looking forward to that. I don't know if I'm going to save this for Christmas time, but I don't know. I'm looking forward to it nonetheless. And yeah, so those are all the books on my list of new releases for September. I have definitely not covered them all, so if there are any ones that I am missing, please put them in the comments below. Let me know what you're looking forward to, if any of these books sound good to you, what you're going to try and add on to your September TBR, and I look forward to seeing you all next time. If you hit the like button. Thank you so much. Hit the subscribe button if you want to. If you want to let me know that you are here but don't want to put a full comment, put a snowflake for Holiday Ever After, and I will see you all next time. Bye!